I am. 2 words. Just 2. Yet they may be the most powerful words in the entire universe. Think about it. Every single time you say, I am, you are not just describing yourself. You are creating yourself. You are writing your identity, programming your future, and setting the stage for your reality. But here's the question. Are you aware of the power you hold, or are you giving it away without even knowing? Most people use these words carelessly. I am tired. I am unlucky. I am not enough. Each time they're planting seeds of limitation. They don't realize those words sink deep into the subconscious, repeating like background music until it becomes their truth. And here's where it gets fascinating. Science shows us that affirmations, the simple act of declaring something about yourself, actually light up regions of your brain connected to self-worth and reward. In other words, your brain responds as if what you are saying is already true. Imagine the doors that open when you use that power with intention. This is why I am is not just a phrase, it's a command to the universe and to your own mind. The words that follow shape how you think, how you feel, and what you attract. Some call it spiritual law, others call it psychology, but both agree, what you attach to I am is the beginning of your destiny. Now here's something you probably haven't heard before. A study found that even a 20-second practice, placing your hand over your heart, saying a kind I am statement reduced stress and increased self-compassion. Just 20 seconds. That's less time than checking a text, but the impact was profound. Yet here's the twist. Affirmations that feel too far from your current reality can actually backfire. If you say I am rich while drowning in debt, your brain resists it. It feels false, and instead of lifting you, it pulls you down. But there is a way around this. Phrases like I am learning, or even I will, bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. This is the hidden key that most people miss. So stay with me until the end of this video, because you're not just going to hear the usual talk about positive affirmations. You'll discover why I am works on both a spiritual and scientific level. You'll learn how to avoid the common mistakes that weaken its power. And most importantly, you'll walk away knowing how to craft your own I am statements that don't just sound good, but actually transform your life. 2 words, infinite potential. By the end you'll see why I am is not just something you say, it's something you become. Would you like me to now expand this into the full video script, based on the outline I gave earlier? Before we talk about the power of I am in shaping our future, we need to look at the words we casually attach to it every single day. Most of us don't even realize how often we declare things about ourselves without thinking. I am tired. I am stuck. I am unlucky. These phrases slip out of our mouths so easily, often without awareness, but they don't just disappear into thin air. They land somewhere. They take root, and slowly they begin to shape the way we see ourselves and the way we move through life. When you say I am tired, you're not just describing a moment of fatigue. You're giving your mind a command. The brain listens and accepts it as truth. Over time, repeating this phrase reinforces the idea that tiredness is part of your identity, not just a passing state. The same goes for I am stuck. It may feel like a harmless way of expressing frustration, but every repetition digs the idea deeper into your subconscious. The more you say it, the more you believe it. And once you believe it, your actions begin to align with it. This is how powerful language is. Words are not just labels, they are signals to your nervous system, instructions to your subconscious, and blueprints for your reality. Modern psychology has shown us that self-statements, even casual ones, shape not only our emotions, but also our behavior. If you constantly declare that you are stuck, you stop searching for solutions. If you keep repeating that you are unlucky, your brain filters out opportunities, because it has already accepted misfortune as your identity. What started as a passing statement becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Think about how children grow up internalizing the words they hear. If a child is constantly told, you are slow, or you are lazy, it becomes part of how they view themselves. As adults we do the same thing to ourselves, except it happens through the phrases we repeat. The difference is that now, instead of someone else shaping us, we are shaping ourselves. And because I am is the deepest form of self-identification, it carries far more weight than we imagine. Science supports this. Research in self-affirmation theory shows that the brain responds powerfully to statements about the self. When you use positive affirmations, areas of the brain linked to self-worth and reward light up. But when you keep repeating negative phrases, the opposite effect happens. You reinforce stress, helplessness, and low self-esteem. The mind doesn't judge whether your statement is good or bad. It only follows the command. So when you say I am tired, I am stuck, or I am unlucky, you are programming your subconscious to see the world through that lens. You're telling yourself this is who you are. Even if you only meant it in the moment, the mind doesn't know the difference. It doesn't separate sarcasm from seriousness. It doesn't separate habit from truth. It simply accepts. And the more it accepts, the more it reflects that reality back into your life. Words shape thought. Thought shapes action. It may sound simple, but this chain reaction is the foundation of how reality unfolds. Every word you speak carries energy, and when those words are tied to your identity with I am, they become even more powerful. They are no longer just descriptions. They are declarations. They tell your mind who you are, and the mind takes those words and builds your world around them. When you say I am confident, your brain doesn't argue. It begins to look for proof. It pulls memories, shifts your focus, and primes your body to align with that idea. In the same way, if you say I am weak, your mind will search for evidence of weakness. This is how the subconscious works. It acts like a filter, collecting experiences and thoughts that support the identity you choose, while ignoring the rest. The words you attach to I am become instructions for what your subconscious should prioritize. Neuroscience has revealed that the brain's neural pathways are shaped by repetition. Every repeated thought strengthens a connection. If you continually tell yourself, I am creative, those neural networks grow stronger. Over time, you start to act in ways that express creativity, and the identity solidifies. On the other hand, if you repeat, I am not good enough, the same wiring happens, but with a negative outcome. Eventually your actions, decisions, and even your posture begin to match the belief. This is why the statement, what follows I am, matters more than you know is not an exaggeration. It is the difference between seeing yourself as limited or limitless, capable or incapable, worthy or unworthy. The words create the thought fuels the feeling, and the feeling drives the action. And actions, repeated over time, become your life story. Think about how much influence this gives you. With every I am, you are planting a seed. Some seeds grow into strength, peace and abundance. Others grow into doubt, stress, and fear. The choice of words decides the harvest. This is not just about being positive for the sake of positivity. It is about consciously shaping the inner dialogue that directs your entire path. Even subtle differences in wording change the direction of your thought. Saying I am learning has a completely different impact than saying I am failing. One opens the door to growth, while the other locks you in a prison of defeat. The action that follows each phrase will not be the same, because the mindset behind them is not the same. So the next time you say, I am, pause and listen. What comes after it? Are you building yourself up, or are you pulling yourself down? Every phrase is more than just words. It is a command. The mind listens, the body responds, and your life quietly bends to match what you've declared. The hidden truth is that you are already living the results of the I am statements you have been repeating, whether you were conscious of them or not. Saying I am is not just a spiritual practice or a motivational tool. It has a direct measurable effect on the brain. When you declare something about yourself, it activates regions in the brain that are tied to self-value, self-reflection, and even reward. Researchers studying self-affirmation theory have discovered that these statements light up the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, an area deeply connected to identity and emotional regulation. In other words, the brain treats your I am declarations as important signals, as if they are shaping who you are in that very moment. This explains why affirmations can feel powerful, even when spoken softly. It is not just a matter of wishful thinking. Your nervous system and brain chemistry are involved. When you repeat positive I am statements, like I am capable, or I am calm, the brain responds by reinforcing circuits that align with those beliefs. Over time, these circuits grow stronger, making it easier for you to act in ways that match the affirmation. That shift is real, and it has been shown in multiple scientific studies. Interestingly, this brain response is not limited to positive phrases. If you say I am a failure, your brain also accepts that input and strengthens connections that support feelings of worthlessness or defeat. The brain does not distinguish between what uplifts you and what tears you down. It simply processes the words you repeat and wires your mind accordingly. That is why being careless with I am statements is so dangerous. Each one leaves a trace in your mental patterns. One study published through PMC highlighted that affirmations reduce stress and increase openness to change by engaging the reward pathways in the brain. Participants who practiced self-affirmations were better able to handle threatening information and challenges. Their brains literally responded as if they had received a reward. This is why saying I am strong in difficult times can provide not only emotional strength, but also physiological support, lowering stress levels and helping you cope more effectively. Think about how remarkable that is. Just by choosing your words carefully, you can influence the chemistry of your brain. This is not abstract, it is biological. The act of repeating I am can trigger dopamine responses, the same neurotransmitter linked to motivation and reward. That means your brain starts to crave alignment with what you declare. The more you affirm it, the more your mind and body move in that direction. Of course, the brain also has a filter called the reticular activating system. This part decides what information to focus on. When you say I am confident, your brain begins to notice opportunities and experiences that confirm confidence. It becomes easier to spot evidence of strength, while ignoring evidence of weakness. This is why small consistent I am phrases can snowball into major changes in how you think, feel and act. The bottom line is this saying, I am is not a hollow exercise, it's a neurological event. Your brain reacts, your body adjusts, and your perception shifts. What feels like a few simple words is, in fact, a powerful rewiring process taking place beneath the surface. That shift is not imagined, it is real. And science continues to prove just how profound it can be. Repeating positive words rewires your mind. This is more than a motivational idea. It is a process rooted in neuroscience. The brain has the ability to change its structure and function based on repeated thought patterns, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. Every time you choose to say positive phrases, you are carving new pathways in your brain. With enough repetition, those pathways become stronger, making optimism and resilience more natural responses. It is like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the more powerful it becomes. When you say words like I am calm, I am capable, or I am healing, you are not only directing your focus towards something positive, you are also training your nervous system to relax. The mind and body are deeply connected. Positive affirmations reduce the production of stress hormones and activate regions of the brain linked to safety and well-being. That is why people who practice daily affirmations often report feeling more balanced and less overwhelmed. Over time, the brain begins to interpret these affirmations as truths, even if they felt unnatural at first. This practice also builds emotional strength. Stress, setbacks and self-doubt are inevitable parts of life, but the words you choose in those moments decide whether you spiral down or rise above. Positive affirmations act as mental anchors. When repeated consistently, they remind you of your strength and redirect your thoughts away from fear. Instead of feeding negative loops like I am not enough,
or I can't handle this. Affirmations create healthier loops. I am learning, I am adapting, I am strong. These loops become the mental background music that shapes your outlook and behavior. Repeating positive words does more than calm the mind. It opens you to growth. When your thoughts are filled with doubt, your brain closes itself off from possibilities. You see fewer options, and opportunities slip by unnoticed. But when your thoughts are grounded in positive self-talk, your brain becomes more flexible. You notice new ideas. You feel more willing to take risks. You begin to see setbacks as lessons instead of proof of failure. This openness to growth is one of the most powerful results of affirmations. It is important to remember that the effect builds over time. One affirmation spoken once may not change much, but affirmations spoken daily, over weeks and months reshape the way your brain processes information. Slowly negativity loses its grip, and positivity becomes your default setting. You are not denying reality. You are choosing the lens through which you see it. That choice, repeated often, becomes a habit. That habit becomes your identity. The science is clear. Positive affirmations influence both your thoughts and your biology. They reduce stress, build resilience, and expand your perspective. They give you the strength to face challenges with calmness and to embrace change without fear. And the more you practice them, the more natural it feels to live in alignment with the words you choose. Though overboard affirmations can feel false, it is easy to find long lists of powerful I am statements online. I am rich, I am unstoppable, I am extraordinary. But for many people, especially those struggling with self-doubt or low self-esteem, these words may not feel true. Instead of uplifting, they create resistance. The mind pushes back, whispering, "No, you're not." And when that inner conflict grows louder than the affirmation itself, the practice stops working. What was meant to inspire ends up deepening feelings of inadequacy. This is why it's important to understand the psychology behind affirmations. The brain craves alignment between belief and experience. When there is a wide gap between the two, the affirmation can trigger discomfort. For example, someone in deep financial struggle may not feel empowered by repeating, "I am wealthy." Instead, the statement highlights the distance between where they are and where they want to be. The brain perceives the words as false, and instead of building confidence, it weakens it. Affirmations must feel possible, or at least believable, in order to take root. A better path in these moments is to use I will statements. Unlike I am, which declares a present identity, I will points toward growth and possibility. It acknowledges that change is on the horizon, even if it has not fully arrived. For someone who feels stuck, saying, "I will find solutions," carries more truth than saying, "I am already free." The mind does not resist because I will feels like a bridge. It accepts the current reality while opening the door to transformation. This shift is subtle but powerful. When confidence is low, I am can feel like a mountain too steep to climb, but I will feels like the first step on the path upward. It gives the subconscious something to work with. Instead of rejecting the affirmation outright, the brain interprets it as motivation. This forward-looking language reduces the pressure to feel perfect in the moment, and instead builds momentum toward growth. Over time, I will statements naturally evolve into I am statements. For instance, someone might start with I will take better care of my health. After weeks or months of consistent action, they can shift into I am healthy. The transition feels natural because the foundation has been laid. The words now match the experience, and the brain embraces the affirmation as truth. This gradual progression avoids the trap of self-deception, while still harnessing the power of language to create. Confidence grows in stages, and affirmations should grow with it. The mistake many people make is jumping straight to the most powerful version of I am without first building belief. By starting with I will, you create a stepping stone that allows the mind to accept new possibilities. From there, the path towards stronger and more convincing I am statements becomes clear, and the practice of affirmations feels authentic rather than forced. When we talk about the power of words, not all words carry the same weight. You could repeat generic affirmations 100 times, but if they don't strike a chord deep within you, they fade like background noise. That's why the real key lies in choosing phrases that feel personal, meaningful, and tied directly to who you are at your core. These words have a way of bypassing surface resistance and going straight into the heart of your identity. They don't feel like borrowed lines, they feel like truths you've uncovered. And when something feels true, your mind and body naturally embrace it instead of pushing it away. Think about it. If someone else tells you, you are strong, it might encourage you for a moment. But when you yourself say, I am resilient, and I will keep moving forward, and you feel those words resonate with something you've lived through, the impact is completely different. It isn't just a phrase anymore, it's a reflection of your lived reality, your battles, your victories. That emotional link creates an anchor, a foundation that makes the affirmation not only believable but powerful. Research shows that words tied to personal values trigger stronger emotional and neurological responses. It's like your brain recognizes, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. Instead of fighting disbelief, it begins reinforcing that identity. For instance, if creativity is part of your core, saying, I am a creative force ignites energy and possibility, in a way that I am successful might not. The first speaks to your truth, the second may just sit there, feeling vague or hollow. This is why choosing the right words isn't just about positive thinking, it's about aligning with your authentic self. Another important factor is how these phrases remind you of your values when life gets heavy. When stress, doubt, or setbacks arrive, the right I am statement acts like a compass, pulling you back toward your center. If you've chosen words rooted in love, faith, or persistence, those words remind you that you're not defined by the moment of struggle, but by the essence you carry. It becomes less about pretending to be something you're not, and more about reinforcing what you already are, but may have forgotten. Personal power comes alive when your words mirror your inner compass. It's the difference between saying what you think you should say, and saying what truly matters. That's why affirmations work best when they are not forced, not copied from a book or someone else's list, but shaped from your unique life, your story, your struggles, and your hopes. When your I am connects to that depth, it becomes more than words. It becomes a declaration that reshapes your identity, your choices, and your future. Because in the end, words aren't just sounds, they are blueprints. And when those blueprints reflect your true core, they hold the power to build a life that feels unshakably your own. I am calm, I am learning, I will do my best. At first glance, these phrases may seem ordinary, almost too simple to matter, but their strength lies in that very simplicity. They are easy to say, easy to remember, and they carry no unnecessary weight. When spoken with intention, they move quietly but deeply, shifting how you feel about yourself and what you believe is possible. The power of such words is not in being grand or overly ambitious, but in being real and relatable. They do not demand perfection, they simply invite growth. When you say, I am calm, you are not claiming to be free of stress forever. You are giving yourself permission to return to balance, to create a moment of steadiness in the present. The words act like a signal to your mind and body that calmness is accessible. The more you say it, the easier it becomes to feel it. Even if your world is noisy or your thoughts are restless, this phrase acts as an anchor. It reminds you that calm is not something outside of you, it's something you can call forward with awareness. Saying, I am learning, is equally powerful. It strips away the pressure of needing to know everything already. Instead, it embraces the journey. By choosing these words, you shift your perspective from failure to progress. Mistakes stop being proof that you're not enough, and they start becoming stepping stones toward growth. This simple phrase invites patience and humility, reminding you that learning is not a sign of weakness but of expansion. It opens doors instead of closing them, giving you the courage to keep moving forward. I will do my best, creates yet another layer of empowerment. It does not promise flawless results, nor does it carry the weight of perfection. Instead, it sets a standard that is both achievable and compassionate. It acknowledges that effort, not outcome, defines progress. These words remind you that trying with sincerity is enough. In moments of pressure, this phrase can calm the fear of failure. It places the focus on action, on showing up, on giving what you can, on trusting that effort matters. The beauty of these examples is their truth. They don't require you to stretch beyond what feels believable. They don't ask you to declare something you cannot accept yet. Instead, they meet you where you are. Their power lies in consistency, in quiet repetition that slowly reshapes the way you see yourself. Each time you speak them, they plant a seed, and with time, those seeds grow into confidence, resilience, and clarity. Keeping your words simple makes them sustainable. You don't need elaborate affirmations to rewire your thoughts. You only need ones that feel true, ones that you can repeat without hesitation. The simpler they are, the easier they become part of your daily rhythm, and over time, they begin to feel less like words you say, and more like truths you live. Say them in the mirror, and let your reflection remind you of the strength you carry. Write them on notes and place them where you'll see them often, so they quietly guide your thoughts through the day. Whisper them as you step into the world, giving yourself the steady push of reassurance and calm. The words you choose shape who you become, and with every you write your own reality. If this message has helped you today, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more powerful insights that can transform your life.